Hello again and welcome to Ndudu by Fafa.
Hello everyone, my name is Fafa and welcome to my creative cooking channel Ndudu by Fafa. Ndudu means food in our language from Ghana. I'm Ewe and I'm Ghanaian. Absolutely. So what have I got for you guys today? Sizzling hot kitchen today. Yeah, they call another level. Okay, Mini. Look at Glomnala. Where? If you've not hooked onto this channel, I don't know what you're waiting for because you are missing out. And I'm missing you most definitely. If you haven't clicked that subscribe button, please do so now. Thank you very much. And the notification button. What that means is each time I do upload a video, you, my darling, are notified of it pronto. So you do not miss a thing. Yes. So today's going to be flavor packed. I mean, by now you're used to this channel and my twist upon a twist upon a twist. I'm using the topside beef, which is cost effective, I'd say. This amount can serve about 3 people, and it did cost me about £5 or £6. I got this from Waitrose Butchers, and then I've got some smoky bacon lardons here. They're just going to add that extra je ne sais quoi to my dish. Of course, for my beef stock, I've got a really good bottle of red wine. I'm not going to use the entire amount, but yes. And I'm going to infuse it with a secret ingredient, which will be my fennel seeds. As you can see that I do love my fennel, loads of it. And I'll be infusing it with some homemade cranberry, sort of like a jam thing. Yeah, we've got a little bit of chili in there. So it's something that I did at Christmas and I've reserved it and that works. Now, because the topside beef is lean, it needs a bit of fat to get it all going. You know what I mean? Yes, absolutely. So I'm using some beef fat. You can use any oil that you have available, but you know, beef fat with that, yeah, je ne sais quoi, absolutely. And I've got some dried rosemary. And I'll be infusing it with my salt. Mix it together, and this is what's going to marinate this beautifully. I told you, this is not any other channel. This is Ndudu by Fafa. If you haven't clicked that subscribe button and the notification button, I don't even know what you're waiting for. Yeah, so let's start.
So my guests were quite specific with their requirements. They did not want to see any blood in the meat. So this meat is almost, I'd say, well to medium well done. So here I've got my pink Himalayan salt. You can use any salt, sea salts that you do have available. And I'm adding a teaspoonful of my dried rosemary. I'm going to crush this together because, you know, it's that flavor packed thing that I'm doing. I'm building upon the flavors. Now, I have got my topside beef here. And what I'm going to do is rub it with my beautiful mixture of my salt and rosemary. That I'm going to add half a teaspoonful of milled black peppercorns, and I'm just going to rub this till it's covered the entire meat. Now, the reason why I've used the salt this time is because I'll be browning the meat, and salt is known to absorb moisture, so that works perfectly. As I mentioned earlier, for the fat, I'm going to be using my dripping beef. I got this from Waitrose. Alternatively, you can use any other fat that you have available. And I'm adding the butter as well, so that would give it that nutty flavor. So as I said, I'm building upon the flavor. And I'm browning the meat. That would take about 8 to 9 minutes to do so. Now, at that point, I would say that my meat would just be in the oven for about another 10 minutes and it will be done, which will be like the medium to rare. But of course, as I said, my guests were quite specific with their requirements, so I had to adhere to that. So yeah, you can see that the butter is browning perfectly, and to that I'm now added my smoked bacon lardons. Now they're just going to add that smokiness to the oil, and of course that's going to infuse into the beef as well, and it's just incredible. You know, it's something that I do love in terms of like building up on flavors. You know, I mean, definitely you do know that by now. So that should just take you about 7 to 8 minutes for your bacon lardons to brown. So my bacon lardons are perfect, so I'm going to reserve it for later, and I'll be sprinkling it all over, and that flavor is just going to be incredible. So now that I've got the oil that is infused with that smokiness from the bacon lardons, I'm just going to turn the beef and just make sure that, you know, it's browned perfectly, just the way I do like it. And yeah, once that is done, what I'm going to do is, this is like a one pot dish, so there's a lot less mess, may I say. So now what I'm going to do is add my chopped carrots. And yeah, I'm just adding about 3 large organic carrots that I've chopped in this beautiful chunky way. What's going to happen is the carrots, and of course now I'm adding onions, they're going to absorb that flavor from the oil, i.e. that smokiness and that beefiness from the beef, and then the nuttiness from the butter as well. So you see, I told you this is not any other food. This is Ndudu by Fafa. So what you will notice is I'm resting the beef on top of the carrots and onions, just so that the juice would also, drip into the onions, and that infusion would take place. Now I have preheated my oven to 180 degrees, and at this point I'm adding my fennel seeds. Now this makes a big difference to this dish, because the oils of those fennel are just going to infuse into that. And of course I'm adding my bay leaf as well. So yeah, when I said this is not any other food, I think I've said it a lot. It's not any other food. And I'm adding about 2 or 3 cloves of garlic, and that's just going to cook perfectly. This is such an easy dish to make, no hassle. Now what I've done is I've placed some lavender in my oven whilst, and I love the smell of it. So that lavender is also just going to infuse slightly into the beef. You see, that's my secret. So not only does the beef smell come through and the fennel smell comes through, but you also have this beautiful lavender smell just permeating through your kitchen. Why not?
Now, this is gonna be incredible. I've got my onion, I've got some mushrooms, my red pepper, and some courgettes. And this is what I'm going to be serving my roast beef with.
My beef has been in the oven at this point for 8 minutes, and I'm moving on to my vegetables. So I've got some courgettes and my mushrooms here. I'm sprinkling with a little bit of my salt, which is the pink Himalayan salt, and rosemary that I mixed together. Now with that, I'm going to now place that in the oven. What that's going to do is, by the time the beef is ready, which will be in an extra 8 minutes, this should be done. And the courgettes will still be crunchy. So, of course, I'm drizzling with a little bit of olive oil for that je ne sais quoi. And my red peppers, what I've just done is char grilled it, as you can see here.
Smells incredible. So I'm going to leave my meat to rest. So I've got my carrots here that I just perfectly roasted with everything. I'm going to reserve part of it, and then I'm going to use the rest for my jus, as you do. Now I'll tell you something, the aroma in the kitchen, like the smell is just incredible. Like seriously, it's just like, yeah, don't let Ndudu out. So now that I've got this, I'm going to give you a closer view. This looks incredible. Absolutely incredible, even if I say so. What do I do? Just take 2 of the whole garlic. Just there as well. That'll be great for decorating. And here we have our pièce de résistance, or nanon in gauche.
Now I have reserved some of the carrots, onions, and the garlic to serve later. Now I'm attempting to smash the rest just to allow their flavors to infuse into my jus that I'll be making. Now I think this looks okay. I mean, if you can smash it all, then go ahead. But then again, I'm just like, yeah, shabu shabu. I'm not wasting my time. And I'm going to attempt to make a roux. And the roux means that I'm adding my flour now. And that means that the flour is going to cook. And I'm going to cook this for about 2 to 3 minutes on a medium heat. Now, the worst thing is to use flour in cooking and not cook the flour, because it then has a raw taste, and that's just not nice. Now at this point, I've turned the heat to this higher setting because, of course, I'm adding the red wine to it. And I want the alcohol to evaporate from that. The inclusion of the red wine gives the sauce the tanginess that it does require, and the richness and depth that I love. So yeah, most definitely. Now, when it comes to the type of wine, it has to be the type of wine that you would like to drink, that you cook with. If you don't want to drink it, then why are you going to cook with it? No. So yeah, so invest in a good bottle of wine, that would help. And of course, I've added my beef stock as well to it. I got that from the supermarket. So you can actually make your own, but this is a shabu shabu recipe here. So you can just see how nice and dark and rich this is. And I'm going to be cooking this beautifully just for about 4 minutes. Now, after 4 minutes, when I've noticed that the infusion is taking place and it's just simmering just so, what I'm going to do is strain this. So using my strainer, I transfer this into another pot and extract all the juice out of it. Now, please don't get me wrong. There's no waste in my kitchen. Those carrots actually went into my mouth because you know when you're making Sunday roast, you always seem to be hungry. So you always pick up on things like that. Yeah, so definitely I enjoyed that. And I'm going to bring this to the boil and mix everything together till it's well combined. At this point, I am maintaining a medium heat and I'm adding half a teaspoonful of my black peppercorn just to give it that residual heat, just give that aromatic taste as well. So yeah, I'm adding my cranberry jam that I did mention earlier. I made that jam at Christmas, which I infused with a little bit of chili. So that just gives this dish an incredible flavor because what it's also doing is it's tangy and it's also sweet. So it's so nice that, it's my secret ingredient. Everybody just loves my beef stock. And why now? So what I'm going to do is just making sure that I take all that scum off the surface just to make sure that my jus is nice and, rich and creamy. Now, my meat has been resting for about 15 minutes and it's ready. So now I can serve. As I mentioned earlier, my guests were quite specific with their requirements. They did not want to see any blood, so I had to adhere to their request. Now, ideally, I would have roasted it in the oven for about 7 minutes for that medium to rare sort of consistency. But anyway, so here I have it. I'm slicing this. You don't have to, but yes, I'm just pre-slicing it so that everybody can just eat together. In that sense. So I've reserved that part that looks like it's a little bit like on the pinker side, slightly there for myself.
Notification gang, okay, mini call, hey, and a notification gang, what's the day? Or do you with? Madam was saying, me done a shiwa, notification gang, you want me, but notification gang, me have me $1 me one name, papa. I do appreciate each and every one of you, most definitely, and I do miss you guys.
So I've got that beautiful crunchy and caramelized carrots with my onions and garlic. I'm adding the beef slices, just, drizzling with a little bit of a jus, why not? And you can see that cranberry coming through. That's just infusion, taking it to another level now today. I'm just going to be slicing my roasted peppers, which gives it that smokiness and sweetness as well. This is an alternative Sunday roast, so easy to make. One pot dish. Then again, I use the second pot for the jus. And then I'm adding my bacon lardons. Yes. So one would actually, just pick a slice and then they'll have like pieces of the bacon lardons in there. You've got that sweet pepper, roast pepper coming through, and also that caramelized infused carrots as well. This is not any other food. I keep saying this. Definitely, it's obvious that I've omitted using any potatoes today, but we've got some beautiful chunky mushrooms as well, as you do. You know what I mean? For that added color and, that appealing look, I'm just sprinkling it with a little bit of chopped parsley. Now, parsley doesn't overpower the dish, it just enhances it anyway. And to mimic the absence of the roasted potatoes, I've got my crunchy courgettes here. That just works perfectly with this. I think I have to do a separate recipe for the roasted potatoes so that one can enjoy it. Yeah. And I hope you are inspired to try this recipe, most definitely. Now this just looks beautiful, and of course I've set my table ready for my guest, and here is my pièce de résistance. Yes. Now, naturally, I'll leave the list of ingredients and measurements on my blog, ndudubyfafa.blogspot.com. I'm also on Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as Ndudu by Fafa. Until next time, take care of you. Be nice, be beautiful. And guess what? I love you for you. Take care of you.